Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today I'm checking out a commercial airline pilot add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator, P3D and XPLANE 11. It works on all three and it is called A Pilot's Life Chapter 2. That's right, this is the next version of A Pilot's Life and it's been completely redesigned from the ground up. So today I'm going to take you through the new features and what this add-on is all about. I've put a link down in the description. I just want to say straight up front that if you have picked up in the past, if you've picked up a Pilot's Life, the first version of this, then you get a massive discount. So check out the link down in the description and you can get right into it. So really what this app is all about is sort of replicating a career as an airline pilot for basically a ton of different airlines in the world. There's heaps of choices. So I'll talk you through in this video. I'm just going to show you around the app, get you familiar with a few things. I've already done a few flights just so I can show you some of the features. And then in a future video, I'll actually go ahead and complete a flight and you can kind of see it in action. We might do it on our live stream or something like that. But here we are on the front page. This is my profile page, so you can go ahead and upload your personalized logo. So I've thrown that in there. And as you can see on the right-hand corner there, I'm actually currently employed by Iberojet. And my hourly salary is $18.18. So really, the aim of this is you go ahead and fly some scheduled flights for the airline that you work for. You earn money which you can then buy some certain things with. I'll talk through that in a minute. But the key thing is you earn XP. And the XP will then affect which rank you can achieve, and you go up in the ranks. Also up the top here, you'll see my rating, 95.5. So the better your rating, the more opportunity you have to get employed by bigger and better airlines. So there's actually quite a ton of flexibility in this too, in terms of the kind of aircraft that you're able to fly. So I'll show you through that. So this is just a bit of an overview of the main screen here. We'll come back here in a minute, but for a start, when you first get into the app right here, you are going to have to find a job. And what happens is down below here in this job offers part, you're going to have 5 job offers for just small airlines. You can see over the right hand side here that they've got a number of stars associated with the airlines, one being smaller airlines and obviously 4 stars and above those bigger airlines. So for example, if we go in and look at Air Mexico right here, you can press on the information button and it's going to in a minute just going to pop up some information about the airline. Here we go here. It gives a bit of a spiel over here, which is kind of cool. You can read that. You can also see the type of aircraft that they fly. So if they are the kind of ones, or the kind of aircraft that you want to fly, then, obviously you can check out that. And it shows you also the different routes that you can expect to fly for them. So there goes all the scheduled flights down in here. Also gives a Wikipedia link. Straight away, by the way, those who have used this app before, you're going to see that the UI is completely redesigned, new fonts. It looks a lot sleeker, that's for sure. But anyway, that's the airline overview. So you have got a ton of airlines available right here. But when you first start, you'll get offered basically a job with one of 5 low-level airlines because you're a very low rank. And you work your way up as you get better and better. One of the cool little added features this time is you'll see down here jobs 0 of 22. So this is actually how many players in this game at the moment in A Pilot's Life, because there's a whole lot of other pilots in this, how many of those actually take up the jobs available. So if we use Aerologic as an example, there are 38 pilot jobs available at the moment and 21 of them are already filled. So it's not like you can have every single pilot in this app all flying for the same airline or everyone out there. It's all linked. It has a limited number depending on the size of the airline and a few other things. Now what will happen is as the user base gets bigger and bigger, these numbers will adjust to make sure there's plenty of jobs available. But that's a cool little feature there. There's a bit of scarcity around the jobs. So when you actually go ahead and accept your first contract, you get a choice. You can either say, hey look, I just want to fly when I feel like flying. Or there might be a requirement that you fly at least 5 hours a week, or there could be a requirement that you've got to fly a certain number of flights a week. Now, if you pick either of those next two, then you get a bonus on your income. So your hourly salary, I think you get a 10% bonus on the first and a 20 or 25% bonus on that second one. So if you make it harder for yourself, you do get a bonus. However, if you do not fulfill the requirements of your contract, they'll penalize you. But let's go and click on current contract right here. And this is a really cool thing. When you go ahead and sign up for the airline, it actually gives you an employment contract, so you can read through it. There goes your rank, all that sort of stuff. So this is on a weekly basis, so you can actually change jobs on a weekly basis. And what it talks through the different hours or target contract, whatever you decided to go ahead with. It says your travel, food and lodging is included. It's kind of cool. It's a nice little addition here, but I'm currently employed for 7 days with this airline, and then you can make a decision on what to do. Steve McCroskey, the employer, he's gone and signed it, and I've gone ahead and signed it here too. And you can actually print this out into either into a paper version or a PDF, depending on what you want to do. But that is really, really cool. And then what you do on the back of that is once you've set up yourself with a contract, you can then go through a little process where you set up what flights you want to complete for that airline. And I picked up some small routes that the A320 was going to be flying. That's the aircraft that I wanted to fly because that's the one I've got on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And so I actually had a 6-leg schedule. You can either have it so it starts at a hub and then comes back to the hub, return flights, or you can just have random flights, and that's what I've done. You can see this one starts at Turin, ends at Valencia, my next one starts at Madrid, goes to Paris. And so this is actually the schedule that you need to fly when you go ahead and complete your flights. So once you've got your schedule set up, you then go ahead and you can complete a flight. It's really straightforward, this, by the way. It's not like an airline management sim or anything like that where you've got to manage FBOs or aircraft and things like that. Your job here is to fly for the airline. Really simple. So that's what this is all about. So this is actually the dispatch page, and this is the app that runs in the background when you start up a flight. And in another video, I'll show you how this all works while it's in flight. But essentially, the great thing about it is down here, the Sim Brief Dispatch. This is a great little thing. If I click on that, it will then pre-populate all the details of this particular flight into Sim Brief, which makes it nice and easy for your flight planning. So that's fantastic. And then what you do is it automatically detects that you're in the flight. And we'll go through all the different stages, and I'll show you what the flight report looks like at the end. That's how you get assessed on how well you fly. You know how I said I had 95 rating? That's out of 100. I'll show you what it actually assesses you on as it goes through a flight. But this monitors you. It's got a moving map. It's really cool. Lets you know your estimated time of arrival, all that sort of stuff. Gives you your METARs. Also lets you know that you're connected down below here. So really, really cool, nice and easy. And at the end of it, you can either tell it in the settings to automatically submit your flight for you, or you can have it manually set. So that's what I do. I manually submit them at the end. And so once you go ahead and complete flights, they're then recorded in your logbook. So here we go. I've completed a couple. So let me just show you this new system they've implemented around determining how good your flight was. So I've completed 2 here. By the way, it's really easy to change your aircraft. So I did one in the Neo, one in the standard A320. So when you set up your flight back on the flight page, you can actually easily go up there, change your cruising altitude, and you can also change your aircraft that you fly in too. So if you've got a different variant and stuff like that. Because what you need to do, one thing I didn't mention up front is before you fly, you have to buy a license. Let's go in there now, and then I'll come back to that the assessment in a minute. But there's 3 things in the shop. You can actually buy these sort of training, crypto market, real estate stocks, which then give you bonuses to your XP or give you extra income. So there you go. There you can see that. It helps you get through the ranks a bit quicker, but you've got to earn money to actually buy them. The other thing you have to do, though, in order to fly aircraft, you have to have a license. And it does it by family. So if you get an Airbus A320, that then will cover you off with the A318, the 19, the 20, and the 21. Here you go over the right-hand side there. And so in order to fly, that's one thing you want to check is when you applying to fly at an airline or getting employed by an airline, you want to make sure that you've got the license to fly the aircraft that they fly. They handily here show you the operators that fly these types of aircraft. A320 obviously pretty popular. So when you first start, you get $5,000. It costs $2,500 for this particular license, so away you go. And it's got a ton of different aircraft there that you're able to select, so that's kind of cool. When you first start, you make sure you purchase your license, which is another additional feature in this particular version. The other thing you can do, obviously, as I mentioned, is put XP boosts or purchase XP boosts or dollar boosts. And the other thing you can do is purchase flight tickets, so that allows you to transport from one place to another. That actually allows you to create your own specialized flight is what that does actually. So that's cool. Anyway, back to looking at my logbook is where I want to go. We'll get to the right place in a minute, everybody. So this is really the real cool part of this. And here we are in here now. So let's take a look at the last flight that I completed right here, and we'll go to the information tab, and this will show you all the different things that your flight is assessed on. And this is really fantastic. And if you check out the manual, it takes you through exactly what each of these components mean and what you need to fulfill. So if you run through them, there's some pretty standard ones. Generally you got to keep your pitch plus or minus 20 degrees, 35 degrees for your bank angle, G-forces, don't stall, all that sort of stuff. But then it goes through all the different phases of flight. Make sure you check out the manual to understand when these phases start and end, so then to make sure you're doing the things you need to do. But pretty simple. For a takeoff, make sure your landing lights on, strobe lights on, blah, 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 blah. So each of these are out of a certain score. So you can see that this is 10. You add these up, it's a score out of 10. For your flaps, if you didn't set them properly, so you might get 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 or 0 out of 3. So depending on what you do will determine your score. The other thing is when you land, you got a landing rate and you got a certain amount to get 5 out of 5. If it's a little bit heavier, you might get 4 out of 5. So the worse you're landing, the more you get penalized. So let's take a look at my last flight. I didn't have a landing gear down here on approach. Now, I did have my landing gear down eventually, but I took a visual approach in and I probably put them down just a little bit too late. And you've got to remember, you've got to put them in line with what it's assessing you against. So I failed that. And also exceeded more than 200 knots on approach there. So I got 0 points in there. The other thing I did is I taxied a little bit too fast. I exceeded 30 knots. So I lost 2, 4, 6 points there and got 94 for this one overall. Then shows you your altitude and ground elevation, which is kind of cool, your true airspeed. And then a summary of your flight up here. The simulator that you use, your call sign, all that sort of stuff, your block time, your landing rate, and then your overall score, 94. And so I scored 94 on my first one. We'll quickly pop up. That was my second flight, in fact. My very first flight, here it goes here. I actually exceeded the taxi speed, was the only thing I failed on this. So I got 97. And that's how eventually I got a score of 95.5. That's my average score. It talks about how that's calculated. So really the importance of that is if I go to apply for some more jobs in the future, the better my rating and the higher my rank, the better quality airlines I can apply for. It's as simple as that. So that really is it in a nutshell, everybody. You do have a couple of other options in here. You can go ahead and change it to light theme. I've got it on dark theme at the moment. The other thing, reports, everybody. Forgot to say it. So you got the ability here to run reports. Now, obviously pretty early in my career, but you can see, say, an XP report, and for your entire career or for last year, current month. So obviously once you get a bit of, you've got a few flights under your belt, this is going to be a bit better. But let's just generate it for these 2 days just to see what it's all about. But it allows you to show some cool little graphs and stats around, your career thus far. And here you go. It's just a basic XP report. And I've earned 152.8 this week. And it shows slightly less one day than the other. The type of aircraft, the airline, Envelop Airlines is the official name of Iberia. What's it called? Who do I fly for? I'll go back there. What's it called? Get your act together, Mace. Iberojet. I was almost there. So as you can see in those reports there, it gives you all the different stats. So once you actually do a whole ton of flights, then, obviously that's going to be a bit more interesting. Just the last few things here, just to wrap this up, everybody, your front page here, you got your resume. So that then just details all the different things, all the different airlines that you're flying for. So it just starts to put a bit of a resume together. So that's kind of nice. Once again, everything here can be printed and in PDF or whatever. You've got some awards right here. So you can go ahead and look through those. I've already managed to achieve a few of those. And you've got your inventory. So what have you got in your inventory in terms of your investment items? So those are those things in the shop I was talking about. And also the education items. So those are going to give you income and XP bonus totals. So you can see, adding these up together, what your increase is going to be. And then photo album, that's another one where basically you can upload screenshots, etc. Now they've got no events scheduled yet, but there will be events scheduled, and you can check that out here. And you also got a little inbox to get messages. I've got a little message there around the fact that I got my starting $5,000. So that is pretty much it. There is also the last thing actually. I keep saying there's a last thing, but the last thing is there's actually leaderboards too, that you can see how well you're competing against everyone else. Let me just quickly find those. And here they are on this little tab here with the little people. So you've got all these people who are pilots at the moment in the game. And you've got your wealth leaderboard, your XP leaderboard. You can see all the different people that are registered. You can go ahead and add friends. So if you want to add me, add it in there, friend requests, all that sort of stuff. And then you can see how you're competing compared to your friends on your friends list. So you can go airline leaderboard. It's going to show you all the different airlines and who's in there at the moment. You can see Fiji Airlines, who the leaderboards are, so you can see who's doing what in each airline. And you can also see this actually opened up in another tab. It opens up in a web browser. You can see all the other flights that are happening at the moment. Go and join the Discord. You'll find out a lot about the have a discussion with the rest of the players in the game, and share ideas. And also the developer is really active in there, and a big shout out to Ovi. Thank you very much for hooking me up with a copy so I could show everyone through this. But this is a heck of a lot of fun. Like I say, it's all about flying, so go and check it out. I'll put a link down in the description. A reminder for those of you that had version 1, you do get a massive discount. Otherwise, I highly recommend it. It's it's something a little bit different compared to what's out there at the moment. So look out for my upcoming videos around the actual flights and actually going through a flight, and you can see one in progress, I should say. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching. Smash the like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, everybody, take it easy.